इसी के साथ हैदराबाद सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रेसिडेंट कॉमरेड जुहैल के को गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो अपने शब्द रखें।
Revolutionary things to one another. This is one of the happiest days in the days of the movement. The kilometers away from the Hyderabad campus, we are getting these many years to discuss about the movement, which the state missionaries try to suppress whatever the way if they can. There is no surprise from that, because this is the land of Dr. Ambedkar. And this crowd shows the responsibility of the Mumbai towards the movements which is happening all over the campuses. In last 2014, when the BJP Sarkar came with a brutal majority, everybody were discussing about the lack of the opposition. Later on, we witnessed that another opposition were emerging from the campuses. That was through the movements which happened all over the campuses. It was a joint struggle. All the Marxists and Ambedkarites with the blue and red flags together fighting against these right-wing forces and their support back. We were able to change. We were able to at least make them to speak on the issue of the caste discrimination, the atrocities happening in all over the country. So here we are seeing the opposition leaders without even going to the parliament. I'm not thinking that these people know the history. If they know the history, they never ever fight with the students. The history shows that whenever a fight happened between the students and the government, the success was always with the students and the failure will be always with the government. But what to do, my friends? Our Prime Minister doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't know the student protest in the Chile, which compelled to replace Jacqueline Levin from the post of the HID Minister. But he knows about the India's planet spaceships. He doesn't know that the movement against the Franco in the Spain. But he knows how the plastic surgeries happened in the ancient India. And he doesn't know the Occupy Wall Street, but he knows how to take n number of selfies in the least time. Compared to New Yorkers, if we compete with him on that regard, I'm sure that we will be on training that. And here, in the University of Hyderabad campus, we witnessed a lot of bad incidents. Vidyalay, along with the 4 students, were suspended on a book club story. We questioned them, but the administration was not ready to give any answer on the hostel suspension which is applied to these students. We cannot call it as a hostel suspension. The suspension order says that these people should not come to the art block. They should not bark in the groups. They should not come to the public places and should not interfere in the election procedures. This is a direct violation of the rights which is given by the UGC to the students. Then that's why we were calling that one as the social boycott. We have protested along with Rohit. But on the January 17th, we witnessed his body hanging on the fan in the NRS hostel. That was the day which all the Hyderabad campus were crying, but the tears didn't come to our eyes. It was a fuel to continue a struggle against a system which created thousands of the lowest all over the campuses. And we continued our struggle. He stayed with his body for the 12 hours by seeking an explanation from the administration. But nobody came. They sent the police to take his body forcefully. And they cremated it without even reaching the students or his family at that point. Because of our struggle, Professor Vidyalay, our dearest Vice Chancellor, were compelled to go for the long leave. And he even went out of the country. Then we were continuing our study along with our studies. On the last March 22nd, he came back to the campus. He could not digest that. Without him, the campus is running properly. That was the day on which the police unleashed their brutality on the students. They molested the women students. They attacked the faculties. And on that day, they have arrested 25 students and 2 faculties together. Then again our protest restarted. So when you consider the order in which the speaker sitting on the dais, after the TII, University of Hyderabad came into the picture. Then JNU and Hyderabad issues. Then again Hyderabad campus is coming into the hot picture of the movements. As Najutul clearly said, the people who like the academics cannot agree a person who do not have any legitimacy to sit in the chair of that position. But you have to think on behalf of the University of Hyderabad students. We are the people who like Soviet Mumbai. We are the people who lived with him. We are the people who shared our food with him. In the same campus, we are witnessing the same murder. And our friends were sent to the jails. I would like to tell you, the present central government and the Mr. Vidyalay that our friends are not reserved for the jails. If you have the vacant spaces in your jail, you can take a murderer sitting in the BJP office who still has the blood in his hands on the Gujarat layout. If you have more vacant spaces, you can come to my Telangana where I can show you. But there is the Tatariya who was sending the letter to the MHRD by asking to take an action against these students. You can even more spaces. You can take our Vidyalay into the jail. Our friends and comrades are not reserved for the jails because they have a hell lot of work to do inside and outside the campuses. We are living in a system. We are living in a country where a government which only has the slogan without any vision is ruling this country. I always would like to ask that this government is for whom? By the actions which they put forward, it was very clear that they don't agree with the critically thinking people. If you think critically and question, they will come up with a rope to hang you. That's what happened to the Rohit. In the same way, what happened to Socrates for unveiling the truth. When you speak on behalf of the tribes, Soniswari will be attacked. When you have the freedom to decide your food for that crime, Adarsh will be mob lynched. When you speak about the unemployment and the poverty, the education for the Marxists and Mumbaikars is nowhere different. This government always shows their anti-student, anti-women, anti-Dalit, and in all the senses, where they always used to say that सबके साथ सबके विकास, but उनका काम इसके खिलाफ है. Before the election, they came up with the idea of the discussion at tea, but after the election, they were converted into the monkey path. If you want to understand the feelings of the students and the country, you should be ready to hear what they are going to say. At least this time, we will compel you to hear. We will not stop our struggle until and unless you open your ears for the slogans which we are raising in the campuses. Our slogans are very strong enough to reach in the highly air-conditioned rooms and it can reverberate your thrones in which you are sitting in the proper way. There will be a fraction of the people who always used to scream that the university students were utilizing the tax money and doing the protest. When the recent ranking on the higher education institutions came into the picture, it was a direct blow on their faces. एक पार्लियामेंट के लिए फोटोशॉप पोस्ट करने के लिए बाद संगी पूछ रहे थे ये कैसे हो सकता है भाई साहब, हम दिन रात ये दोनों यूनिवर्सिटी बंद करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहा था। जवाब इंटेलेक्चुअल संगी से आएंगे, ये मनुस्मृति ईरानी जी और मोदी जी की कृपा का राज। We would like to tell you them that this is nobody's pika. We don't want anybody's help. In our campuses, we always used to follow padai and ladai saath saath. And we have to continue in the first position because this country has a hope on us. We belong to the oppressed proletariats. And we have to speak for them, on behalf of them. This is a country where the government policies will always help Adanis and Ambanis. If I would have some 1,000 bikes, I will give to the next election campaign. If you give it, by 1 year your profit will increase by 19,000 crore. There will be retail areas, everything all over the country, which will leave this campus, which will leave this country without paying back the 9,000 crore. When the farmers were compelled to take their lives for the money borrowed, thousands of money borrowed to feed this country. I do not want to expand on that factor because we are in a state which is always fighting to get the first position. The Marathwada is not far away from this Mumbai city. And at this point of time, I'm not understanding that how Vidyalay can lead this country. हमारे मिलिट्री, पुलिस और इंटेलिजेंस क्या कर रहे थे? भाई साहब, इंटेलिजेंस इंक्वायरी कर रहे थे किसी जगहों में मोदी के खिलाफ कोई बोलते हैं और नॉट। पुलिस भाई साहब, सब पुलिस कैंपस में था, वो कोयली और लाठी के साथ छात्रों को नेशनलिज्म और डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में क्लास दे रहा है। And military, they were making the bridge for the Sri Division. All were busy in their own walls. They could not get the time to catch Vidyalay. There is no doubt about that. They will not get. And we are very clear on the fact that our fight is not only for Rohit Bangla. This is against the system which creates thousands of the Rohit Banglas all over the country. This is a fight for the community, the community for whom justice is denied for centuries, who were burned alive. This fight is for the tribes whose resources were looted by these crony capitalist firms. And we are responsible to continue our struggle. In the recent election, several times, we have given the common answer for these Sanghi forces. Delhi and Bihar, and in the coming election, it is going to happen in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Bengal. Again and again, we give the blast on their faces. And I take this opportunity to invite the young intellectuals of this higher Mumbai city who would like to continue their higher education into the Hyderabad campus. Our entrance exam application for the entrance is open at the present. Not only to study, we are inviting you to study and struggle. and to struggle against the caste discrimination and the untouchability to wipe out from the Hyderabad campus along with Professor Vidyalay and his chair. We will continue our struggle through the democratic ways for the democratic rights. I request you all to continue your support. Without a massive movement, we cannot reach our voices to their ears. Here, as several people already mentioned, we should keep aside our differences. When we were discussing about our differences, that was the time where the Sanghi forces marched to the Delhi. We cannot bear with such kind of actions again. I request you to all united and to fight until and unless we get the justice. Jai Bhim, Lal Salam.